Welcome to Motherhood and ADHD. I'm your friend, Patricia Sun. My mission is to be a lighthouse for mothers with ADHD, helping you find your path to success by learning to appreciate your ADHD as an asset. I'm seeking to change the paradigm that ADHD means your life is doomed to be a hot mess. So I'm sharing strategies and encouraging you in your pursuit of happiness to love who you are every day of your ADHD life.
Hey there, sweet mama. I am so excited you're here. Thanks for listening. I am talking today about the constant state of tidying. I did not understand this before I started studying it, and I study born organized people like I work at National Geographic. There are just some people, I'm sure you can think of at least one off the top of your head, that just get how to be tidy. Like, I feel like they were just born like that. It's just their personality. They're very neat. And this is one of the biggest hurdles that I had previously, because I constantly just set things down wherever I was, and I do it almost like mindlessly, so I don't even remember where I put it, and then I can't find things. And so in studying the born organized person, I have watched just different things that they do to stay in that constant state of tidying. And I think that's really the key, is that it's constant. They're constantly in that mode of keeping things together. I'm sure we can all think of that time where things just piled up, because it's probably all the time. Things just pile up and they're there, and then it gets really overwhelming and you try to attack this like big job at one time, and then you get distracted and it never gets done. So if this is something you just consistently maintain, then it never develops into that giant mountain of laundry or whatever it is that, is the bane of your existence at the moment.
When I study them, what amazes me is that they don't even realize what they're doing that is so streamlined about their process. Like, it's so ingrained in their nature that they just do it. And if you ask them specific questions about it, they really have to think hard, because it's just so a part of what they do that they don't even realize it. I appear to be very organized, but I had to work my tail off to get to that point. It is a lot of effort for me to get even close to that level of organization that they just come by naturally.
I'm just going to go through a few things that I've noticed the born organized people do in executing this constant state of tidying.
And some of the things they do aren't going to work for me because my brain is different, but I can take pieces of wisdom from it and figure out how does it make sense for what I need to accomplish. And so what I love about having all of these usual things on autopilot is that it just gives me time for the fun stuff, because laundry has to get done. The dishes have to get washed. You can't live in the pile of disaster in a healthy way. And I can't sit in that spot anymore because I know it's not good for me. And once I had that realization, it made it worth it. It was like the motivation behind, okay, how am I going to work really hard to make my life more calm and more smooth, especially now that I'm in charge of so many more people. It's not just affecting me.
So, first thing is, it literally is all the time. You have to build the habit that it's a new mindset of things always go where they belong. You don't drop things off here for later. It's got to be all the time. And that's such a shift from what I found when I have talked to other ADHD people, that it's just, we don't think like that. And so it's really a mindset change of, I am constantly keeping things tidy. Never set anything down wherever. It has to go in its home. So things need a certain place, like, my purse always goes in the same place when I come home. My keys always go in the purse. Things like that. Everything needs to have a place that it lives and it goes back in its home. 2, I have transit piles. So these, I'll be honest, they drive my husband insane. He hates my transit piles, but that's what works for me, because I find, like, I wish that I could just go put things back in the right place like immediately, but sometimes that's not possible. Like when you have like little ones, like my little guy is 19 months, and like he is my definitely my more adventuresome kiddo, and he's the one where you turn your back for a second and all of a sudden he's on top of the kitchen table. So I have implemented these transit piles so that like I'm not running upstairs all the time. I make a little pile at the counter right next to the bottom of the stairs. And then that way, whenever I go up, that whole pile goes with me. So that goes into the second part of this one. So number 3 is that every trip is dual purpose. Anytime I'm going to another part of the house, I take stuff with me that goes in that room. So if I'm going to go upstairs, if I have enough hands, obviously if I'm carrying a kid, then that makes it a little more difficult. But like anytime you can make that trip count twice, you're getting more done. So anytime I am heading upstairs, like I try to carry up the laundry that's clean, or the my son's art projects that are going to go on his art gallery, like all those things go with me, so they're sitting right there. So as soon as I make that trip upstairs, I'm taking those things with me. Okay, number 4, I have a to-do basket.
This next idea I got out of How ADHD Affects Home Organization, and that's by Lisa Woodruff. And I'll link to it on my website if you want to go grab a copy or find it from your library.
But one of the things she talked about is she calls it her Sunday basket because she does it on Sunday. I call it my Tuesday basket because I usually go through it on Tuesdays. In the kitchen, I have a small, keyword small, because if it gets too big, it gets overwhelming. But I have a small plastic container that fits a piece of paper. And anything that needs to be dealt with, but I can't do right now, goes in the basket. So things in the basket are like order forms from school, or a bill that needs to get paid, like a phone call I need to make. I'll scribble it on a post-it note and throw it in the basket. Have to have time set aside to not just go through the basket, but actually execute the things in the basket. So that could take you anywhere from, it might be a 5-minute project or it might be a 30-minute project, depending on how many things you've got sitting in the basket. Okay, number 5, anything that will take you less than 2 minutes, do it now if at all possible. So if you're bad about paying bills on time, as soon as you get the bill in the mail, go on your phone, do it on the mobile app, and pay it right then. Even if you set the date forward to not pay like until payday, that's fine, but at least you already gone into your online banking and paid it, so that you don't have to like worry about it anymore. If you need to make a phone call, say like order a refill prescription, just like do it now because it only takes 2 minutes if you can. I mean, obviously with kids, life's a crapshoot half the time, but if you can get it done in 2 minutes, just try to do it right away. Okay, number 6, pick up toys at regular intervals throughout the day. Like have a set time where you pick up toys, whether it could be before lunch or before dinner, before nap time. Just have that set time where everybody knows in the house, okay, let's put everything away. And even if it's not 100% put away, at least if you get it 90% put away, then it's not as crazy later on. Number 7 is have a pickup patrol. Nominate one of your kids if they're old enough, otherwise it might be you, to go around the laundry basket and just pick up everything laying around that doesn't belong wherever it's sitting. They should pick up all the random shoes, water bottles, etc. Just have them throw everything in the basket, and then you can either have a different kid take the job over or have that same kid go deliver the things to where they belong. And so they might not be responsible for putting away, their sister's stuff in their room, but at least deliver it to just inside the doorway. And then that sibling can go ahead and put those things away in their room, but at least that clears your main living space out and gets things sort of near. And so it's almost like creating another transit pile where, your kids know then anything that gets dropped right inside their door, they need to go put away.
Okay, number 8. Naturally born organized people, they empty their cars of trash on a regular basis. This really threw me for a loop because growing up, I'm one of 5 kids, and so my mom always had a trash bag in the station wagon or minivan, depending on the times. And so we just threw all of our trash in this little trash bag. And so I thought everybody had a trash can in their car. And so when I got older, I had a trash can in my car. Well, lo and behold, when there's only one person in the car, like you don't generate trash at the rate of a family with 5 kids. And so this trash bag would be sitting in my car for weeks, and it would have like yogurt containers that I, as I ate breakfast on the way to work and all this stuff. And my husband was just like, this is so gross. How do you keep this trash in your car for so long? It's nasty. And it never occurred to me that obviously, like, when my mom had this trash bag in the car, when you have that many kids, like, she probably was emptying that trash bag like every other day because we generated that much trash. Yeah, it was really gross that I was keeping like week-old yogurt cartons in the car. My husband literally takes all the trash out of his car every time he exits the car, which blew my mind. I never thought he would do that. Now I do that. Every time I get out of the car, I take the trash with me when I can. At the very minimum, if I'm at the gas station, that's a great time too to throw all the trash out, because especially as a mom, you're probably driving enough that like that's at least, you're getting gas once, twice a week. So every couple days. If you're standing there anyway, you may as well be productive. Number 9 is mail. When I go and get the mail, I don't even bring most of it inside. I go in the garage. We have like a recycle can in there, and I immediately sort through the junk I don't need, goes right into the recycle bin. And then when I come in, if I can, I try to sort it right then, open everything up, take the rest of the stuff that is recycled back out to the garage, sort it. I have like a mail sorter, and the stuff that goes to my husband goes in his box. The stuff that I need to take care of, if I can do it right then, I try to do it right then. If I need to do it later, it goes in my to-do basket. And that just keeps the mountain of mail from getting larger and larger. And I guess, like, to back up, like, I try to do that when I have just like a random couple of minutes where there's nothing going on, like I need to fill 3 minutes or whatever. I think that's part of how the pile builds up, is that people grab their mail on the way in the house, but you're already doing 15 other things when you walk in the house, so it easily just gets dumped into the pile. So not even letting all the stuff come in the house is a huge help, and then just doing a quick sort right when you get in the door makes it a lot easier too. If you don't have time to open everything, at least put it in the person's mailbox that it belongs in, and it's at least on its way to being accomplished. So to kind of wrap this all up, all of these habits kind of fall into 2 categories. Either do it now, or have a plan so it won't get forgotten or, shoved aside for later. It's just having those patterns in place where it's just on autopilot. Like, I know, like, when I come in with mail, it doesn't just get dumped on the kitchen table. I always do the sorting. Well, okay, I take that back. I don't always do it, but I would say like 95% of the time, as a mom, things never go according to plan. So sometimes, yes, mail gets dumped on the table, but because most of the time it gets done on autopilot, there's just a smoothness about things, and things just don't pile up. And I think that's one of the hugest issues that we have with ADHD is the pile up, because things just then, we never get back around to finishing things that get set aside. Keep in mind, I did not implement all of these things at one time. It was a slow process, but as you develop that constant state of tidying in your life, you will get better and better about staying on top of things. And it really is like a muscle that you have to work and build up. And is it painful? Heck yeah, it is. But it is one of those things that will make a big difference in your life, sweet mama. So choose one thing that we talked about, or if you have something else that you've been meaning to work on, just implement a constant state of tidying habit. Cleaning out the car takes 1 minute. Sorting through your mail takes 2 minutes. Just put those little habits into place so that you can make a big difference when they all add up. Let me know on my Facebook page, Motherhood and ADHD, which one you did and how it's working for you so that we can encourage each other. Awesome. I will talk to you soon, successful mama.
Thank you for listening to Motherhood and ADHD. For more resources, head over to our website, www.motherhoodandadhd.com.